So,
For years, producers of the ages have wondered, how do I make color bass?
but instead of answering the question that's on everyone's mind in the dubstep community, we're going to break down a song we made called Dark Aether. We're doing something that YouTubers have never done before. We're making a dubstep song inspired from a video game.
We're going to places no band has ever gone before. Making a song based on a video game.
We were inspired by Metroid Prime 2 for the song, but some people thought we were referencing Call of Duty Cold War, because apparently there's a place called the Dark Aether.
Yeah, we wrote this track well before COD 78 or whatever it is was announced. So you know what? I'd almost go so far to say Activision ripped off us.
Yeah, so after we break this down, we will be talking to our lawyers. But
Yep.
for now, let's go over the intro and see what we have. Starting off, we have a bunch of layers with like Metroid-inspired sounds, like we have this pad. Skybreak is a master when it comes to like melodic layers and pianos and stuff, so he wrote most of the melodic elements.
Heck yeah. The pad is a very relatively simple idea. I think basically what I did, if you want to open up the patch, is I just took Serum's phaser and then I ran that through Valhalla Room, I want to say, or was that back in the period where I would only use Vintage Verb?
We have the 16 times saw, and then going into Ubic P actually, and Vintage Verb.
But yeah, it's a relatively simple idea. I think when you do really sharp peaks or phase filters or phasers or whatever, and then you run it through reverb, it can really just smooth it out, and it'll come out good.
And so, Skybreak has got the piano flex, so I believe we're using just a flex. Wow, it's actually piano and then the flex plugin.
Wow, that was genius humor. I think you gotta subscribe right now. A lot of it comes from the strumming that I'm doing in the piano roll, actually. Yeah, I think I'm slightly offsetting the notes, but if you want a cheap, easy way to do it, I believe if you press Alt and S, it'll strum it for you.
Let's see what other layers we have. We have the Celeste Lead. So this is a staple of your sound design. Is there any reason why you love to use this lead so much?
Because I love Celeste.
We just have this piano layer sample, just to contrast it with the lead. I think that's a very good use of call and response.
Heck yeah. I believe that piano is actually taken from Odyssey SFX. But yeah, it's a very nice pack. There's a lot of really cool samples in there. Very cinematic. But I find myself gravitating towards the pianos just because, there's soft, cinematic, beautiful, whatever.
Let's go over the percussion and drums for the intro. Typically, I'll just grab a Foley loop and just throw it in there. But you actually pick out all these samples and layer them together.
Yep. It's tedious, but it sounds good.
Let's go over one more layer for the intro and we'll move on, which is the sub bass and just Reese's. So this is made up of a few layers. We have the basic Reese. For this, I believe what I did was I grabbed a saw wave and then I went to this process and took out the fundamental. And I replaced the fundamental with a sine wave. So you get a more controlled Reese. And then for extra texture, we have an AU5 bass underneath it.
I think this was literally made by making a patch in either Razor or Harmor and then just importing the wavetable. But yes, if you do something with FM synthesis or additive synthesis or granular synthesis, whatever it is, you can import it into Serum as a wavetable. And then, what do you know? That's 2 whole kinds of synthesis in one. And then you can resample it, and that's 3 whole kinds of synthesis in one.
That's more than one.
It's more than one. It's 3 now. That's crazy. So,
So to transition from the intro into the build-up, you took out the first chord of the main chord progression, and then just repeated it a few times over here. Is that right?
Heck yeah, that's to kind of emulate how in the drop most of the track sits on D sharp minor. So I wanted to reflect that by, just putting the D sharp minor chord over and over. I'm currently eating popcorn kernels. Just wanted to let you know that.
The most inconspicuous thing to eat while recording. And now the project is freezing.
Bro, the blooper reel at the end is going to be longer than the video itself.
What do you mean blooper reel? That's just your vocal, right?
Yeah, it's just my vocal, dude. Just record your own vocals, People have been asking if it's from a pack or anything. It's not, bro. Just, I think I just did an intense whisper and pitched it down a bit and threw it through vocodex and stuff, and it became that.
We have these, like, crash symbols for the build-up. So for this, what I did is I have, like, a repeating pattern, much like a kick drum, except it pans towards the end. Same with claps and snares and stuff. We really just have the good old kick drum pattern where it goes every beat and then it repeats even faster towards the end. We didn't need to like reinvent the wheel when it came to that. Do you typically sidechain in your build-ups?
Yeah, this is a perfect example of what I do. I typically keep it on the whatever is hitting it up until you hit like 8th or 16th notes. Because then if you have like a deep-ass sidechain duck on every hit, it's like, what's going on? And it starts to lose its cohesion. So typically when you have faster ones, I typically either keep it on the quarter note or make the sidechain curve unique so it's like smoother.
We have our good old uplifters over here.
They be lifting up though. Oh my god, is that Ari?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. My friend Ari, aka Snowcloak, has like this iconic laugh. It's almost like a dolphin. But this was back in the phase where I would try to like put a bunch of stupid bullshit in my songs really subtly. So yeah, why not? You know what? Maybe instead of the riser with the traditional boring ass white noise, you could take your friend's dolphin laugh. And then I'll sue you like I'm suing Activision.
And then one more thing in the build-up is the classic dubstep trick of playing the drop melody in the build-up and just like fading it in.
Heck yeah.
And then we do the same thing with the Dark Aether vocal. And now the part you actually wanted to look at, the drop.
Run an ad break.
Hi, I'm Ben from the Phazen brand. We both know why you're here. You're trying to get better at dubstep music production. And I just want to remind you not to fall into the trap of basing your success on what label accepts your music. Instead, base it on how many followers you have. And as you can see from this graph, some people watch my videos and don't even subscribe. So please, make me a better producer by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you. But yeah, let's just get to the bases. So one interesting thing to know right off the bat is like how many layers we have just for this one section.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Stacking layers is fun. I recommend it.
And this is like your signature style of making dubstep drops, right? Where instead of using one serum with a bunch of like effects on it, you like to take multiple layers of sounds and combine them into one.
Yeah, you gave me a sample pack filled with sound effects, and I put it through some flangers and shit.
All right, so we have this first one where with processing it sounds like this, and then without anything, that's a pretty huge difference.
Yeah, what did I do in the processing chain? I think this was before I even got Disperser, so I was doing some weird shit.
You used Temper, which is a distortion plugin.
Yeah, it's a phase distorter, I think.
We used Vocodex, OTT. You have this like delay just for tone.
Hey, yeah, you can do this by putting a relatively low MS rate on a delay plugin, and it'll create a comb filter. And if you turn it on to ping pong mode, then what do you know? You get a really tonal wide effect.
A similar effect is what we did with the resonator. So it's really just the same thing, but adding yet even more delay to it. Oh yeah, this is like the classic Skybreak trick where you take like another song and just use it as a layer.
Oh no! Speaking of cease and desist letters.
This is a song that Skybreak produced and legally owns.
Yeah, you can do whatever. I mean, nowadays I'm a bit more civilized about it. So instead of using, like a song, I'll do the same thing to like just a singular element like a pad, or I'll take one of my own songs instead of.
So speaking of your sound design process where you just have like a bunch of samples you can just put into any project, I'm pretty sure you use that in this project because these are your samples, I believe.
Yeah, as I've said in many videos, been developing this massive sound design folder. Every week I try to have a 4 or 5 hour session where I just make a shitloads of sounds using new methods and ideologies I've come up with over the past week. And really quickly, you can accumulate a whole lot of sounds. So when you're in the mood to write a song like Dark Aether, instead of having to go and tediously design stuff, you just have to, just drag what you've already made, and it's still your sound. So it's not lazy. It's just different mindsets, and you don't break out of them.
We put a Ubik G on the master of the whole song and just like mess with the scale and the pitch and recorded that into an Edison. And from there, we just got these crazy samples that we can just plug right back into the project.
And I'm actually planning to do a video on my channel all about how I use Edison. It's probably either already out now or it's in the works.
So looking at the pattern of the sub bass, it seems like we have a normal call and response where we have like these 2 bars and then this is the response. These 2 bars are like a new phrase and this is the ending, and then it repeats again. And you can see even with all the samples right here, it's really just the same pattern, but for the second part, we used new samples and changed up the rhythm a bit. I'm pretty sure Sky added these arps to fill out the background.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it's such a quiet volume, and when it stacks upon with everything else, you don't notice it, but you can feel it when it's not there.
We used some samples from my like personal sample pack I made a long time ago. And do you remember this sample?
No, what's that?
You were like, we need an offbeat chant, and I don't want to use a generic like, hey, or yo. So what you did is you went to my YouTube channel and recorded the top 100 dubstep tips, and you used the first sound in that video.
Oh my god, did I really? I forgot about that. I used to do so much funny, stupid bullshit. I gotta do that more.
So for the drums, we just have pretty basic stuff. I'll play it real quick. We have 2 layers of hi-hats using loops that I made in a Matt Zoe loop or a ride. And for the drums, we have good old Shark samples. Sharks has given out these samples in like contests he makes for his like remix competitions and stuff, and they sound pretty good, so we use them. We have AU5 Crash to start it off, and a lot of people wonder if you should sidechain hi-hats. I don't know, did we?
I mean, I don't know if I did in this project, but typically what I'll do is I'll route my hats to a separate sidechain bus, which has a lot more of like a smoother curve.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did for this one.
Wow. I really do have a formulaic way of making music.
Oh, this is the inspiration station.
Yeah, the inspiration station.
We put the whole song through Ubik G, and I recorded a huge Edison file. So if I ever wanted new samples, I would just unmute these and think like, do I want this one? Or that one, and so on. A very important thing you want to do when you add these like inspiration station layers, put a volume automation on them, because without, it'll just sound way too sustained and loud. Really, the goal is combining multiple textures into one sound. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's typically my new sound design method, I'd say. Like, most dubstep you hear nowadays isn't just going to be one bass. Typically, all the professionals layer and layer and layer and layer because each layer can achieve a different purpose. Serum's great and all, and it's really a good tool for learning like the basics of sound design. But I find it's a lot more gratifying and unique to just experiment with other synths, because really you can make a bass in just about any plugin.
So that's about it for the breakdown. If you liked the video, give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe. And also check out Skybreak's music videos and all the stuff he does.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. There's Color Base Volume 2 came out back in December. There's a lot of really, really cool tunes on there. And if you like what you hear here, follow us both on all socials, because we both release music that's kind of similar to this one. So enjoy, have a good life, and see you guys next time.
Catch you guys next time.